to number 12. Melinda found another parcel, so there'll be
Okay.
2 listed under Atkins today, so.
Do you want the number? I have it.
Yeah, you want to tell them the number? I mean,
Okay.
we're just gonna amend that.
It's, the parcel that we're adding is 010-32850.
Can I slide this out of the way?
Sure.
Okay, that's my only change I needed on the
Okay.
agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
One second.
Was the added,
With the added
Parcel.
approval to abate a parcel number 010-32850.
perfect.
Second.
Okay, call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Bulls?
Okay. Minutes.
I read them last week.
Okay.
Or yesterday. Good. I have no question.
Can I get a motion to approve them?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, call for a vote on that one.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Bulls, aye.
What can you tell me? 905. Keystone First Responders.
Yep,
EMS.
did you get that letter, I think?
No, I
It's in your
didn't.
packet, maybe.
Did anybody else?
Hold on, it was from, too many things in here today. Just have it. Okay, Dean sent it to me. It looks like for the Keystone representation for the MSAC, they want Eric Nelson and Michael Root, and neither one of them are on the city council. Because I think the previous gentleman was on the City of Keystone's council too.
Eric Nelson, and who's the second one?
Michael Root. So if you guys can officially appoint them to the EMS advisory board, I'll get them listed.
Okay. Can I get a motion for them two gentlemen?
I'd make the motion to approve Eric Root and
Eric Nelson.
Eric Nelson
And Michael
and Michael Root for the Keystone representatives on the EMS Advisory Council.
I'll second that one.
Okay, call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Bulls, aye.
Okay, cigarette permit. Let's do that one quick for Kim's.
I have the original.
These yearly permits?
Yes.
It should be in your packet.
Yeah, I read it last night.
I'll let you sign for
There it is.
I'd make a motion to approve the cigarette permit for Kim's Mini Mart.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Bulls, aye.
Looks like the auditor's the only one that signed it.
Yeah, so far, because it comes from the state.
All right, 905, Ray.
Yeah, so-
Take it. Derek, you
Yep.
gonna take it?
Yep, I'm taking her on, so, I'm passing out to you guys, like an email we received from the Attorney General. I got 3 and I got a couple extra copies for anybody else. This is in regards to hiring an intern, and her name is Priyal Patel. Ray has interviewed her and has offered her a position subject to board approval and background check. She's a law student at Drake University, grew up in the Cedar Rapids area, and so she's familiar with our area. I just gave you those copies, and that gives up the approval up to matching funds up to $5,000 for the summer. She'll start June 2nd and work through the second week of August. And of course, our share of costs, if it gets that much, would be $5,000, which they have the money in the budget, as well in the county attorney incentive fund. And honestly, excited because we got more than enough work in our office. Like I was telling you guys, like 150 hours of video review, which normally intern would be subject to that, so we could do other stuff. And it's honestly great too for profession to get someone fired up about practicing the rule regardless, because there's just a shortage, not only in our state, but nationwide, especially in the rural areas. So we're excited.
So to be clear, you're gonna get $5,000.
Yep.
And the most it will cost the county is another $5,000.
Yep. Which I believe Ray worked out his budget for this next year.
Understood. And you got a start date and an end date,
Yep.
okay? Gentlemen, understand that all?
Yep.
I would make a motion to approve the summer intern for the county attorney's office.
I would second that motion.
Okay, call for a vote.
Do you wanna put the hourly rate and stuff though too? So we know. for payroll
Oh,
And when they're
I
starting.
have no clue what that one, that is. That's been all on Ray's side, and he didn't include that in the email, so I apologize. But I know she's gonna be full-time up to 37.5 hours, and I don't know if Lori can,
We just didn't know if we'd have to offer insurance and all that after so many.
I don't think so. But we can double check and stuff
Okay.
too. If we have to amend, we'll amend.
Yeah.
Can we
I just didn't,
vote on it to okay it and then bring it
and
back
then
as
we'll
a
bring it back, cause,
resolution?
yeah, we need all that
Trying to
for,
get all that information.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve this. And then the hourly rate and things will be brought back to us. Doesn't make much sense what I said, it doesn't.
I would just say authorize maybe. to
Authorize.
Let him go forward.
The summer internship.
I would second that.
Okay, call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Rolls aye.
Okay. Let's do the alcohol license for,
And then M&M's.
oh, the name I haven't heard yet.
I think that one isn't.
M&M Tap House. And that's only a 5-day permit. I'll let you look, oh, you got one. So can I get a motion to approve the liquor license for M&M Tap House? And that's a 5-day permit. From July 18th, 25 to July 22nd of 25.
Does it say exactly where that's gonna be at?
No, they don't.
Should have the location listed.
Is that the
Address of
57?
premises, 5718 20th Avenue
It
Drive.
might be casinos.
Oh, sure it is.
That's where most of them are, or the other wedding venue.
Insurance is already on file. I would make a motion to approve the 5-day liquor license for M&M Tap House LLC. Those dates are July 18th of '25 through July 22nd of '25.
I will second my motion.
Call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Rolls aye.
Do you wanna, since we have a few, 3 minutes? Oh wait, never mind, I have that numbered. Never mind.
We got about 5 minutes. Can we jump down to Monica Cox?
I have the resolution's numbered, so I'll just probably have to tweak them. That's kind of why I put them in order.
Well, because of Myron's not here.
Myron, yeah. I told him it'd probably be 920.
Can we come back to that? That way you don't change the numbers wrong for you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep, because Myron has his numbered already, so if you
Yeah,
could.
we don't have kids, but you
No,
gotta keep
he's
them
bringing
in
it.
order.
Yes. Order of how you act on them. I mean, I can tweak it, I guess, and reprint them.
No, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to wait. Everything going, law contracts, can we do them quick?
You can talk about those, and then we'll do that.
Oh, that's on
Yeah,
the-
you can talk about it, and then we'll approve that resolution too.
Okay.
These are just the new law contracts for all the cities. Obviously, we raised our rate. Contracts are only good for a year. We're actually doing them as 28E agreements instead of just city contracts, so they have to be filed with the Secretary of State.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're kind of just, as they're trickling in, I think we're just gonna do a resolution for,
I'm gonna do a resolution for anytime we enter into 2080, we need to do a resolution. So since these are trickling in, I have the resolution prepared, listing out each individual city. But, so, we'll do that resolution later, but if you wanna do a motion like we normally do for each city and list out the hours and amounts, that way it
Okay.
still reflects in the minutes. Because we only have I think there's 4 there today.
There's 4 there.
So you can list those out in a motion.
All 4 in one motion?
You can just specify, because they're all different
Right.
amounts.
So Bruce, you wanna start on them?
Yeah, I would make a motion to accept the contracts, Benton County Sheriff, 28E agreements with the city of Luzerne. We need the amount listed for $1,690.
And then also how many hours?
How many not to exceed hours?
Not to exceed .5 hours per week. The city of Garrison, for a total amount of $10,140, 3 hours per week. City of Atkins, $60,840, 18 hours per week. City of Urbana, $40,560, 12 hours per week. And the city of Shellsburg for $67,600, not to exceed 20 hours per week.
I would second that motion.
Okay, I will call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Bull's eye.
I'll sign it over.
yeah, that's fine.
Are you gonna stick around then for the other part?
It's just
Okay.
the resolution, but if you don't want to, I don't think he needs to.
Okay.
Because you already signed all those.
Yeah, they're signed,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then I'll get them to the city and then we'll get those filed.
And there'll be more.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Matt?
Garrett Katouche is requesting to change the use of approximately 1 acre of land to allow for a single-family dwelling and garage to be relocated to the property. This site, it's located approximately 4 miles west of Garrison, and that's in section 27 of Monroe Township. And this site, it's located on a 19-acre parcel that's owned by the applicant's parents, Sheila and Mark Katouche. This entire parcel, it is considered high-quality farmland. But the area of this request has a corn stability rating of 90, but it was all part of the original farmstead. A portion of the area of this request was put back into crop production within the last few years, but was removed from production to square up the building site. There is an existing driveway, but it does not have adequate site distance. conforming driveway will be installed to the north to access this property. 14th Avenue, a county and rock road, has an annual average daily traffic count of 10 vehicles. A private sewage disposal system will need to be installed to serve this dwelling. An initial site visit has been conducted and it's been determined that a sand filter will be required. There's an existing private water well located between the two grain bins on the site. And this site, it's surrounded by row crops on all sides. 5 notices were sent out to adjacent property owners, and legal notices were published in the official newspapers of Benton County. And our office did not receive any comments regarding this request. This proposal, it's located on site with a higher corn stability rating, but it is part of the original farmstead where a dwelling and garage were previously located. Approval is needed for this new non-agricultural use as the dwelling's been removed for more than 3 years. This proposal should not have any negative impacts on surrounding farm operations. Anything you guys want to add to that?
I think you did a pretty good job.
You're gonna have to move the driveway.
It has to just be.
We're gonna add a driveway, yes. Dan McKenna came out probably about 6 weeks ago and did a site distance and determined where the new driveway would need to go for the house.
Okay.
It's been flagged, Tracy. Dan spoke to me this morning and he's moved the flag and they've agreed. And there should be no problem then.
Okay. Gentlemen, any questions?
I have none.
Just gonna square it off, or it already is squared off, isn't it?
Yes.
It's currently not being put
Yeah. Just bring that line on down, you can see it be squared up.
Yeah, the drawing is pretty easy to see. I don't have any questions or concerns.
Take a motion either to approve or deny.
I would make a motion to approve this, is it a land use change?
Yep.
Yes.
This land use change for Garrett Katouche, the Katouche family.
I'll second.
Okay, call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Bull's eye.
I do have a land use hearing coming up on the 10th of June that I'm involved in. And if you don't mind, I just have a little information, if I can give it to you
Pass it
guys
out.
so you can review it.
Okay,
Thank you, Mark.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Yep.
This is Garrett. Thank you.
Myron, batter up.
Oh, I didn't see Myron sneak in. Kind of stealth like Myron.
Thanks, Barb and Matt.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Fun.
I'm jealous.
637, 38, 39.
Out here, just northeast of Vinton, bridge has been closed for replacement on 26th Avenue Drive, kind of north and east of the Wendling-Vinton Quarry. That bridge, the bridge itself has been completed. The approaches are all done, rocked, and the signs taken down and open to traffic. We still got some seating and some field fence to do, but that's not gonna affect the traveling public. That bridge, the previous bridge had a weight embargo on it. This new one has no need for one, so I have resolution number 2536, removing the form of embargo on that so that it's legal for all legal loads.
I would make a motion to approve Resolution 2536, which is a bridge that has been replaced on 26th Avenue. Do we need the
Let you do
legal?
it.
No?
Let him do it.
It's been replaced with a new structure.
No, second.
Okay, call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Bulls eye.
And I got 2 copies there if you want to sign both of them, and I'll leave one with Haley and take one with me. Lynn County has contacted me and they are doing some thin asphalt overlay seal coating on Ellis Road, excuse me, out to the Lynn Benton Road, and would ask if Benton County would be interested in doing that same activity between Ellis and, what would that be, 71st? It's a half mile, straight east of Atkins. If I wanted to tie in with their project, with some thin asphalt, with a seal coat, and felt it was, looking at it, it would benefit that half mile county line, and doing it under their contract, it would be cheaper than trying to do it on our own. Their estimated cost for Lynn County's portion would be just over $50,000, plus 7% administrative costs that they charge. I have a 28E agreement that they drafted for the project agreement on doing that. I would support that idea and would just look for board approval. The 28E agreement, I guess what we've done in the past is actually done a resolution and just noted, see the 28E agreement. So resolution 25-37 would be the resolution to approve the 28E agreement with Lynn County on the Lynn Benton Road, thin asphalt and seal coat improvement.
That'll just be half mile from the 2T intersections, correct?
Correct. Be straight east of Atkins, north to the first T that goes into Lynn County is Ellis, so yeah. I think that's a half mile if I recall right.
Are we gonna need to renumber these, Haley?
No, that's why.
Haley and I
Sticking to it.
discussed Friday and yesterday, so unless you threw something else new in the agenda this morning, but before I got here, those should be the correct numbers.
I tried.
He tried.
He did.
I was a stickler today.
That area used to get a lot of traffic before they extended Highway 100. People going through Atkins in that way, and then,
Yeah,
but now that.
I mean, they're using Ellis pretty heavily also. I anticipated E, and I think if you dip south of Atkins, south, the 71st, I believe, ties into E Avenue in Lynn County, and it takes you right to the 72nd. Takes you to the interchange on 100 there, or you can continue east into Cedar Rapids and end up on the southwest side of town. Gone that way a few times, but I just kind of forget that works that way.
So can I get a motion from one of you guys?
I would make a motion to accept resolution 25-37 to approve the 28E agreement with Lynn County.
I would second that motion.
Okay, call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Bull's eye.
Do you want your version signed, Haley, or do I?
Yeah, I can, I have the full,
I have yours.
I did send it back to you, didn't I?
Yep,
Yep, that's fine.
I was gonna have this
You
one,
can-
I was gonna scan this
You
one.
can leave the original one and then
Yeah,
have them sign
get
the
it
20.
to Lynn County, so.
Couple of them.
You signing that? That one there.
Oh, right column. keeping theme with Atkins somewhat, typo on the agenda, it's not 60th Street, it's 69th Street. But 69th Street between 29th and 30th Avenue, currently there's a bridge with embargo on that. We've got a bridge designed for replacement at that location. With that design, a slight bit of right-of-way was needed on both the north and the south side of the road. I have purchase agreements for 3 property owners. 2 of the 3 property owners we're buying permanent easement from, and then those same 2 a temporary easement, and then a 3rd property owner that we just needed a temporary easement on. What do I want to say? There'll be 3 permanent easements, I believe, and 2 temporary easements, but the far east end of the bridge project just catches a corner of PCW Farmland, LLC. That's handled by Hertz Farm Management. They wanted their legal team to look at that paperwork before they would agree to it. And then they came back and asked if we would pay for that review. So, my answer was, if I were to go back to the consultant and redesign the bridge and try to eliminate that tiny bit of property that we were proposing, I would have probably spent just as much money as the $500 they were estimating to have it reviewed. It turned in to be $475, I believe. A total of $575 is what their acquisition would be. Because yeah, we're only talking 252 square feet of area. A very small area. So yeah, my response to them was, let's just go ahead and if that's gonna sign the paperwork on the purchase agreement, I'll pay that added fee that they're requesting for their legal team to look at. Because I felt that I was gonna have that much money spent in consultant fees if we tried to redesign that and change the lines. So, my recommendation at that time and today would be to go along with that, extra, I said 475, but I think it was 500 as I'm staring at the table, trying to remember what everything was said. A total of $575. The $75 amounts to the temporary and the construction value. The other 2 property owners on that project are on the south side adjacent to that PCW is Kevin Miller. 6,870 square feet, $1,035 for that permanent easement. For whatever reason, they drew this up and looked at it in square feet on this particular project. 11,652 square feet of temporary easement of $120 value. There's some fencing there that needs to be replaced. Estimated cost on replacing that was $1,350, so the total would be $2,505 for Kevin Miller, I said Ken, excuse me, Kevin Miller on the south side, and then on the north side is Larry Rutt, Revocable Trust. Larry had that ground appraised in May of last year. His appraisal was pretty close. He thought it was $14,000. After the bank gave us a copy of it, it was $12,600 per acre is what that ground was appraised at. With all of this being in the floodplain and in the waterway, we typically offer 50% of the value because of it being in the floodplain. Larry thought it should be worth a little bit more. He asked for $255 more than what we were offering. I felt, once again, that small amount was worth accepting, so 6,244 square feet of permanent easement needed, $940, temporary easement, 9,741 square feet at $100. That additional $255 makes it $1,295 total for the Larry Rutt property, so. $1,295 for Larry Rutt total, $2,505 for Kevin Miller, and $575 for PCW farmland is the purchase agreements I have that I would recommend we move forward with for the bridge project on 69th Street between 29th and 30th. And if you approve those today, I'll get them off to the DOT, and this project would be in the August 19th DOT letting this late summer, with the option to build
26.
in '26 or starting it here in fall of '25.
How old is that bridge?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I know it's older than you think. We've talked about that before. I don't have the date on the sheet that I brought with me. I have that information in my office, but I couldn't tell you right now at the moment. But I want to say 50s.
1950?
1950s, that sometime
Okay.
between 1950 and 1960, I think it's a 1950s vintage type structure.
Okay. So that's
Just
gonna-
because there aren't many left that are in the 1940s in our system that I haven't replaced, or we haven't replaced over the last 35 years. I think I'm kind of beyond that decade, and I'm into the 1950s decade on replacing structures.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve all the purchasing and easements?
Purchase agreement, it encompasses all of the permanent, temporary, and administrative settlements and fencing. It's basically just a single agreement for each property owner.
I would make the motion to approve the purchase agreements on 69th Street between 29th and 30th Avenues for a bridge replacement project.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Rules, aye.
Just going right here, this is PCW's. Yep, sign there.
This is the one where we get to put you and Tracy on the hook. Nice.
You just need that, if you want to sign that, just that top line right there, above the title, fill in the rest. And that's Kevin Miller's. You sign right below me. And then this is Larry Rutt, if you want to sign that. And if you want to sign right there, look on it. And another bridge project that we're working on, actually for a box culvert twin replacement, is on 16th Avenue between 54th and 55th Street. Vivian Cerny owns the property on the west side. Dwayne Albertson actually owned it on the east side, but that's in the process of being sold. That closing date right now is scheduled for the 19th of June. We'll reach out to the new property owner and see if they will sign all of the necessary paperwork, but I have got Vivian's signature on the purchase agreement for the west side. That one would involve 0.22 acres. This one got drawn up in acres. And we back up, Vivian, kind of like Larry Root, felt that the ground was worth more than what where recent sales indicated. We were offering at 0.22 acres at $6,500 an acre would have been $1,430 at 50% floodplain activity. She felt that if she got $1,800 for that, she'd be happy. So 0.22 acres of permanent easement, 0.18 acres of temporary easement, $1,430 is what we calculated for permanent easement, $190 for temporary easement. You add $370 to get to that 1,800, $1,990 total, and she was happy and signed the paperwork. So my recommendation is that we approve this purchase agreement and make a payment to Vivian for $1,990 for the ground needed on the west side of 16th Avenue.
Can I get a motion to approve that?
I would make the motion to approve the purchase agreement for the repairs on 16th Avenue on the west side of the road is where this agreement is, between 54th and 55th Street.
Perfect.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Okay, call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Bull's eye.
When's this one get let for bids?
This one doesn't have the east property owner sign yet.
So not yet.
Not yet.
Just don't want to hold the DOT up and then one of them they
Sign right there.
have to. 19th of June's coming right up though,
Yeah,
for the closing date.
hoping the property owner will be semi as easy as Vivian is. I'm holding my breath a little bit on that statement because I do know who the property owner purchaser is, so it may be a little bit of more than just a simple conversation.
Did we get power to the light at the Blair
I
Temple?
think so. I haven't gotten confirmation on that, but I know that REC, CRC Trenching, and G&H Electric were all working on that location last week.
Okay,
This was the weekend for questions about that one. I had 3 people.
By Keystone, is that?
21st Avenue and Highway 30 on the north side. I think it's all wired and ready to work and/or working. I just don't travel that way in the dark, so I don't know if the photocell is working, if it's all wired, or if there was some changes last week and not everybody got all their work done. But I know the meter is there. I can see the dirt's been disturbed, so I'm quite certain that REC and CRC Trenching are done. I just haven't heard from Wayne if he got everything done from G&H Electric.
okay. And the oils, you haven't started putting the oil down yet, right?
Nope,
Okay,
no, this rain last night was much needed.
Yep.
For retaining, did a great job for dust control, but it needed it to
Firm things up.
Firm things up.
Yep,
And
yep, I agree.
certainly it's still doing that out there today and might be doing a little bit tomorrow, so.
Okay.
It will probably be next week before we get started with that application, but
So the lighted stop sign also at that intersection?
those are on order.
Those are over. Once that all gets done, then we can worry about the strips.
Rumble strip, we're still talking about going from a rumble to a mumble? Okay.
That will be a discussion we can have here at
Yep.
a near future date.
Okay, thank
Very
you.
good.
Thanks, Myron.
Yep.
Thank you, Myron.
Did you sign that one?
Did I?
I think they gave it back to you.
They did.
Thought I
Now,
watched.
Monica.
Oh, wait a minute.
Different activity.
I do have another thought, you know. I am just here for the Wellness Committee today. We're looking to change one of our resolutions, allowing the employees that are not covered by the county's insurance to obtain proof of a physical and obtain a wellness day off as well. Previously, it was kind of generic. It just said they had to provide proof of one and they could get the wellness day, but there's been some questions around specifics on the documentation and dates and such. So we're looking to change it to say, to allow full-time employees that are not covered by the county's insurance to provide proof of a physical with lab work by December 1st to obtain the wellness day off. These changes are due because they just need like a form that's on letterhead from the physician's office saying they've had their physical and their lab work, because that's what's required for our county insured employees, so we're just kind of making it match. The December 1st date is to allow us time to get everybody in before the end of the year, because the wellness days come at the end, beginning of the next year. Oh, and anybody, the non-county insured employees that have already turned in a doctor's note up until today will get grandfathered in. We're not gonna throw those out if they don't meet these requirements, so we're just now changing it.
Anybody else got any questions?
I was
He
in
was
the
there.
meeting, so.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Mhm.
I think it's fair.
Okay. So can I have a motion to approve resolution 2537?
37, 38.
38. We did 37.
We did?
37 was
Myron's.
Myron's, and then they moved this one to 38. It was 37.
Okay.
See, it gets confusing, doesn't it?
That was my
She'd be down
question.
my way, she'd been gone. Okay, 2538.
I would make the motion to approve resolution 2538, granting the full-time employees not covered by county insurance, if they turn in the proper paperwork, to get the wellness day.
Second.
Okay, call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Bullseye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Here's the law contracts.
Well, I have Melinda next.
Oh, you do?
Yep. For resolution 2539.
Bruce.
Sign that.
Thanks for her. Yeah, that one goes to her too. That
Yeah.
was the one we okayed, the liquor permit.
Thank you.
And the other ones I haven't signed yet, the law contracts.
Well, I might just let these guys talk, it's about the city of Atkins, they received 2 parcels from Stone Ridge, you guys purchased them from Stone Ridge?
Oh, but smoking.
Like 2 years ago, and, they didn't get transferred to the city, so they're looking to get the taxes abated. They just finally got them deeded, so I'll let them explain what happened.
Sure. Good morning, Board of Supervisors. Thank you for entertaining us today. I'm the Mayor of Atkins, Bruce Visser. I'm introduced Scott Flory, City Administrator. We're here today to request the tax abatement on the
two parcels that are owned by the city of Atkins. And I'll let Scott give you the details on all that, but I'd appreciate an affirmative vote to approve, but it would be a benefit to the city, of course, since it is city property. But Scott, I'll let you.
Thanks, everybody, for the background on that. Yes, there's two parcels. This, one of which goes back to 2020, and that's the one in Ridgeview Edition. It's actually in an area where I live. City had acquired that back in about April of 2020 to utilize it for a city park. Of course, 2020 was a tough time. You had derecho, you had coronavirus and other matters, and so regrettably, the deed just, got lost, couldn't find it, I don't know if it's the ratio, whatever, but it got forgotten about, so it was actually never filed, recorded, that the city had purchased this property, so it was never put in our name, it remained in the developer's name, and so it continued to accrue taxes on the property. The other one is located over in the Stone Ridge Edition, and that was something that we'd acquired, again, through a platting process, but was never, the ownership was never transferred over, so the deed never reflected that it was actually in the city of Atkins' name. So we've got those two parcels. The one in Ridgeview was taken on a tax sale. Somebody did get a certificate for that, so somebody basically paid the outstanding property tax, because again, it was still in the developer's name at that time. So it was not in the city's name, so it was not tax exempt. So property taxes continue to be owed and accrued on that, so like you do on a lot of properties, companies, people will buy those tax sale certificates, and someone did on that property, so essentially they paid the property taxes, and those we have cured at this point, so we have paid that certificate off, so we redeemed that certificate, paid the taxes that were owed, about $2,675, I think, were owed on that one. The other one, no one had claimed. It's just a detention basin, so pretty small amount of taxes on that, was like about $40. So nobody claimed that one, but basically we're here to request that the amount that's now owned in Atkins' name. So we filed the warranty deed. It's actually reflected now on the county records that the city of Atkins owns both of these parcels. So I think it's the second half of the taxes for this year on both parcels. We're requesting the abatement of those, since it is in the city's ownership now, and then the abatement going forward, since it will be city-owned and used for city purposes going forward. Just kind of one of those things that I think over the years, like I say, there was a lot going on in those days, and just kind of something that slipped through the cracks, and we discovered it only basically because we're looking at putting a couple of sidewalks in on these properties, and got to digging around and discovered that it was still actually owned in the developer's name. So then kind of we went on this journey and figured out what we needed to do to get that corrected and put in our name. So that's kind of it in a long, drawn-out way.
One parcel's only $404 and the other one's $34.
That must be
That's the
the
two
base.
parcels that we
Yes.
got.
Yes.
The one that's printed and the one that we
Yes.
wrote down.
Yes.
And I'm assuming this, because like I helped out
With the tax
with
stuff, yeah.
the stuff. I'm assuming on the warranty deed, it probably actually has the purchase date and stuff.
It does.
For this. Okay, yeah, because of course, like it doesn't become official until it's like recorded, and of course, Melinda reached out and had conversations with their city attorney and stuff, and gave some analysis to what needs to be done. And since like the idea is now it's in there, it would have been exempt in the first place, and if they made everyone whole, that was essentially the take on what needs to be done.
The tax sale, they did pay that off, so we got that all cleared, so everything's.
Yeah.
So this will just sew it all up and away they go?
Yes.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, and the assessor should have it marked for exempt now that the city has the deed.
Okay.
I'd make a motion to accept resolution 25-39, exempting the taxes due by the city of Atkins.
I'll second.
$4.34, yes.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Bull's eye.
Thank you, gentlemen, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging around.
Interesting, guys.
Will you sign 2 copies of this?
Hi, yes.
There's one.
You bet. No problem. Okay.
Two.
We need a clerk to run these papers back and forth.
Auto pen.
Auto pen, yeah.
Never seen one, but they can cause a controversy.
We're doing it.
Okay, so now it's resolution 2540, which would be the one that we're authorizing us to enter into all those 28Es with each city listed. You guys have that one too.
We only looked at four,
Yeah, but you.
but
yep.
we're signing for all of them?
This 28E includes all of them, and then as those other cities come forward, we'll bring them to the agenda and you can do the motions like you did earlier this morning. They kind of trickle in, but they all go into effect July 1st, so.
Derek, you guys are with this method?
Sorry, I was,
I
With the,
did talk to
sorry.
Ray this morning,
Okay.
yeah. Ray did this
oh,
morning.
yeah. I
Yep.
did see that email right before it came in, and
Yep,
I think the big thing was like, as long as the resolutions, or the resolution was pointing towards the,
yep. It refers
Reference
to each
the-
city and what we're providing with that 28E.3 of the
Yeah.
code, so.
I apologize, I was.
No, I don't think, I had you out of office, so I knew you weren't here yesterday.
I would make the motion to approve resolution 25-40, 28E.3, agreements with the cities for contract law enforcement.
I'll second.
Call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Bull's eye.
There's one.
And then I made note there to see individual agreements.
Oh, right.
Okay. Reports.
I had mine all, I was on the wrong week last week when I said I had a bunch coming. They're this week.
I went to, of course, we all went to the Kirkwood meeting last week. Very informative. Those guys seem to have a lot going on there. But the last Thursday was supposed to be the historical preservation meeting. That was postponed until this Thursday. I'll be attending that. I did attend the wellness meeting. And one of the concerns is keeping people on the committee or getting people on the committee. And the suggestion was made, and I think it was a good idea, that we think that we should look at possibly each department having a representative on that committee. The reason being is that when something comes up, like for everyone to get their physicals and whatnot, if we get a 60% or 70% of the group doing that, then we get a rate increase or decrease. And we feel that coming from someone in their own department might help push that along versus someone coming in and saying, hey, we want you to do that. So I don't know when that comes around.
Well, we get an email usually monthly when it gets closer from ISAC telling us
Okay,
how we are with participating, and it'll list them out, so we can call out those individuals if we want to.
okay. And I know that they have to have, per ISAC, October 31st is the cutoff date
Correct.
for those to be physicals, to be turned in. But then that's, so we, as we did on the resolution, extended the non.
So that's one of the steps, and then they also still have to do that online assessment, right?
Right. Mhm.
Well, we need to get right after this then.
I mean, we did better this current year, but we could still improve more.
Yeah, that was one of the suggestions that came up, it's something we should, take a peek at and see about doing that. They meet quarterly, and the meetings are an hour, so it's not a huge ask, but at least they would have the information directly from someone in their group, so.
What's the head count that attended the last meeting?
6 people.
Yeah, and that means
That's
a
better
lot.
than it used to be. We used to only have one individual usually manning it, so we've improved on that too.
It's what, between a 3 and 5% rate decrease for the county?
Up to 4.
I think
Up
we
to
had
4.
last time.
We have 2 this year.
So it's well worth our
Last-
time.
It's
Last
definitely
year we
worth the
had-
time, and,
Maybe I misspoke. We had 1 last year, and yeah. We're going in the right direction, but
so it just seems to me to be a way to help push this on and get us to that goal. But, and that's the only that I have.
What would it take for us to do that? Just send out an email
just
to
give participation,
the
yeah.
departments and say,
Department heads.
We should almost just make it a department head meeting or,
Yeah.
We could, very easily, yeah, because the department head can then come down and say, hey, boom,
Yeah.
get this done, do this. And it's for the betterment of the employee to find out.
oh, absolutely.
If they got something going on,
Yeah.
they're gonna find out in these tests, if they draw blood and all that stuff, they're gonna find, preventative.
And it's private, like, we don't look at their physicals or anything. It's
We
just a
have no
specific
knowledge
form
of
that
that.
gets faxed to them knowing that it was completed.
That it was completed. Yeah. So, yeah, the HIPAA won't allow any of that other stuff, so.
Same with their online assessment, we don't see any of that.
I think before the next wellness meeting, we should have a department head meeting and
We just had the wellness meeting, so the next one's, gosh, I can't remember. I don't know if I wrote it down or not.
Yeah, because October will be here sooner than we
Yes.
think.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah,
And
we'd like
then
to
we
get it
try
in.
to like push that out too at our all-employee meeting. Maybe have some computers available like we have in the past. It's just hard where some of them don't have their work emails to get on there and do it. So just, we want to reiterate that we have laptop accessibility
Yeah.
for them to do it.
So I don't know if that has to go on the agenda for next week's meeting to go ahead and approve the email, or what do we have to?
I think with this, us, like, we have a department head meeting and we
Just send
push
it
that
out.
on our department heads that, hey, you need to
You need to attend.
keep a lookout on your employees and who's participating or not.
Yeah.
She could draft something and
Okay.
she could send it
Do that.
out with our names on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if we don't particularly want to meet, we can
That's what I would say.
encourage them.
Start there.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Another cost savings option for us. We're supposed to be looking at ways to save. I mean, that's definitely a big way to
That's a
save.
Big one, yeah. Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Okay. I had EasyCog Zoom policy meeting last week where they, different things, 5-year plans and the DOT. That was about it we're talking about. I also got the final acceptance from the Raycom copy now to
Okay.
sign,
Yep.
that we agreed that I was supposed to sign it.
Yep, we authorized you last week.
And I believe you have to help sign it, witness. So then I'm gonna drop it off on your shoulders to
Get it. to 'em.
email it back to them or whatever.
Yep.
Okay?
I read that letter and that agreement, and it looked fine to me also.
Okay. Like I said, it's got that wording in there that I wanted.
Yes.
Mhm.
So,
Yep, and we already sent the check,
Correct. Final payment.
so. Okay. Any new business, old business, monkey
Uh,
business?
Haley probably knows more about this. They adjourned in Des Moines?
Yes,
And
on
then
like really early, was it Thursday or Friday morning? But the tax reform bill did not make it through. I believe we're still gonna be held at the 2% growth though. But there's also some things going on with like the E911 surcharges I've been keeping up on.
Oh,
If
there
they're
was a-
hoping the governor will veto that, because that can really affect us. So, per call, we would have to pay our, yeah. So
They-
there's some things that are still in limbo with that, if the governor vetoes certain things or not.
the
Cause she's only got
911
30 days to sign this stuff and then it expires.
Right, right, so she can still
Right.
herself look through stuff, but yeah, that tax reform
She
did
don't
not make
actually
it
have to
through.
veto it, she just don't sign it, and
Yeah.
it's done.
But there's a lot of affiliates that are sending letters now to their attention to please veto or,
The E911 bill that went through, basically gave the state the ability to take the money
from
that
our
the counties
locals.
have. They held a press conference at Polk County Sheriff yesterday. 11 different representatives, police chiefs and police officers association, FEMA, state sheriffs and deputies, ISAC.
I think EMA was one too.
Yeah, EMA, there was 11 different groups represented, all against this. I am too against it.
Yeah, because that would take away, and plus
It has
our
the
entities
potential-
didn't budget for that,
Yeah.
for one thing.
It has the potential to drain our account.
Then we should set up a date sometime to get them generators loaded up
Okay,
and get them on the market.
okay.
These were the leftovers from the old buildings.
Yes, they're still sitting.
These documents that were handed out, is there somebody told me there's a facility like they're talking about doing recycling in Marengo. Is there any chance we could,
Take a trip?
yes,
For the generators?
No,
Look at that.
the grinding,
Oh, gotcha. For that
like, kinda
other-
like we did
yeah,
it at the Manna deal.
Yep. If we do that, just let me know, we can schedule it, and
kind of
So
like
that
to
has to
see
be
what this is.
if 2 or more of you go, then we'll have
Yeah,
to post it.
it's gotta be posted.
And another new business, Jansen come in and talked to me. Right now, I think he's just got the caulking all removed. He was talking about something up in there that he wants to put some kind of
He already.
material. Did he talk to you on that?
Yes.
So I asked him to give me a quote, but I haven't seen him.
Yeah, that's what he was supposed to get. The 4 corners up there on the cement stick out of the tower at the courthouse. So when the water comes down, it drips on it and it flies against the caulking where the other brick comes down. And he says, of course, the caulking don't last because it's always wet with the water dripping on it and everything. He wants to put a aluminum cap over top of it and then caulk it in. That way,
Because otherwise it wasn't sticking.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he was gonna get a bid from somebody out of Illinois,
Materials or
Indiana,
something.
wasn't no place close what it would cost to make these aluminum sheets that sit on top. You'd kinda see the edge if you got good ice, where it come over the edge of the brick. Otherwise, airplane, helicopter, or drone is the only way you'd actually see them on top of there,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
I took a ride in their bucket truck and had to look at everything. You guys should have to do that too.
I've been there, done that. So,
Did you like it?
there you go. This guy here.
Bruce is not
I can
laughing.
de-ice an airplane, I had no problems
Okay.
doing that.
Yep,
But
I was clear up in
If there's
there.
not an airplane in front of me, I'm done. I can't do it.
So anyway, that's what he told me.
Yeah,
He was gonna
okay.
get a price to see what that was
Yeah,
gonna
because they
cost.
removed the truck, so I don't know.
They're not coming back till fall, because he had
Okay.
another job to start the 1st of June.
Okay, I just am hoping that it's not gonna be
No.
leaking in the meantime.
Are we
He
talked?
says he's got it
Okay,
temporary.
okay. That's what my concern, last night I was like, oh boy, with all that
No, he's
rain.
got it temporary,
Okay,
so, yeah, I know about that too.
okay, good. I just wanna make sure you guys don't.
Okay, I think that's it. Gentlemen, you want anything to add?
Yeah, I'd like to just say that I appreciate your support of that seal coat on Lynn Benton Road with the construction's going to take place on Highway 30, 33rd Avenue, and those road closures, that route is probably going to be more heavily traveled.
True.
And that'll be a benefit to just keeping the road in better shape and keeping the gravel dust down. But thank you for your support in that, so.
Okay.
Thank you, Bruce.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I would make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.